Oh, hiya, hiya, hey, yo, hey, yo, hiya, ho, hiya, hey, hiya, hut, hiya, hey, hey, yo, hey, yo, hey, yo,
We're all affected by it, regardless if whether we're in a domestic violence situation, whether it's a family member, whether it's a neighbor. It doesn't matter. It impacts us. It impacts our community. It impacts our children. It impacts the school system. So it's important to outreach, to send a message out to the community. And we're so rural, we're spread out so far that we appreciate that we have a group of artists here that are going to give back to our community the messages, to open your eyes to what's going around. And let's work together, all come together, up and down the river, up and down the coast, in the valleys, and focus on how we can bring our children to not have the exposure to violence that we had and each generation prior to us.
When you really try or attempt to put things into a perspective, the domestic violence or abuse of Indian people comes back from far, I guess you could say far, in my mind, far less than many of the other cultures, where maybe there were instances back 1,000 years ago, but I am positive that it was not at anywhere to the scale that we have today.
We have melting down in a sense, as far as this respect thing we're supposed to have and the problems, in our communities, and they are a lot out there that they're not talked about. But I have been talking about it, the past few years. I've run into stuff throughout the Northwest, and it's really sad. Some of the things have happened throughout Indian country, and I think there was a thing on the radio not long ago about how many boys and girls molested in our communities. It's scary. It's really scary. Those statistics are out there, and we're hurting as a community, and we need to deal with some of that.
We need to shed light on it somehow. And as artists, we're messengers. We take that responsibility, maybe not consciously, but now this is a time we can sort of step up to the plate and be part of the healing. I think artists tend to do that anyway. I think of art as a healing tool, it's healing for the artist, but it's also can be healing for other people. So, what is the message that we want to say through the art?
Maybe as artists, we can think of some of the images that generate ideas and thinking, and in particular combination. The idea of that we were talking about was the idea of the beautiful place that we live in. We live in a rural place. We're way out, but boy, is it a beautiful place. It's a very beautiful place, and yet we're afflicted with these things like domestic violence. That's something that where is it happening? Are we denying ourselves the beauty that we're surrounded by, or is there something that's disconnecting us from that? The beauty of the earth is something that has been at the core of who we are as Indian people forever, and maybe we need to redirect our own vision, our own sight towards that. Give me the beauty that is in the world, praying for that, wanting to have that within yourself. That's something that, as artists, we can't do that for somebody, but what we can do maybe is by combining these images, we can make that a possibility of maybe that's the source of our healing, that the earth can be the source of our healing.
It's nice to have a venue where you can take those images and repurpose them if they fit, and be able to hopefully put them out there to try to bring about awareness about important issues. This particular time, we're discussing domestic violence. It would be nice, I think, for people to see things that make them think about our world and how we fit into it and the integration. I've heard a lot of people talking about possible paintings and landscapes and how does that relate to our native worldview. And I think the fact, like, when a group of artists can sort of put their artwork out there and gift it to the community in a good way, trying to do a good thing, that's really us being traditional people.
I really feel like this campaign and these efforts to address this serious issue within our community is really important. And as an artist, I feel like artists and images or some of the experiences that can be created by artists, they can make a lasting connection to a message. And that connection will naturally dissolve and decimate into other connections. And whether it's through a beautiful picture or unique sculpture or different perspective on something traditional, then, or even language and actions, seeing somebody do something and then gaining a new perspective on that and having that message laid out can make those connections for people that see that or experience it to that or relate to it.
And I think as artists, you know, we have a responsibility to combat that with our own images and putting positive messages and positive images out to our people, because really right now that's what people are looking at is that, you know, the media, and that's, we're all just so distracted by that and distracted from our own from nature and the earth. And so if we can get on board with media and flooding it with our own images, or at least in a smaller scale in our own community, putting those positive things out, posters everywhere, stickers with messages, videos, whatever we can. I definitely think that that's our responsibility to do that, and that we need it now more than ever.
Whether you're an abuser, or whether you're a recipient, or whether it's mutual, there's a deeper root that is causing that. And we know as traditional people that we need to be whole, and trying to find a way to have people recognize that and not turn a blind eye to what's happening in our community. And it's all of our responsibility.
We have to start with ourselves in order to help each other, help our families, our community, and then the greater world. I mean, our earth. We have to take care of our earth too, you know. And it starts within our own communities. It starts within our own families. It starts within ourselves. So the time is now for healing.